I would urge you all not to accept purely what is put in front of you. To think about things, and it is not necessarily written and done before it is done. So,
what sort of things are they going to put in front of us, though?
Who knows? It'll be tailored to us. So, and probably something that we won't even fathom until it is presented. It's designed, you see, to take you, take you aback, put you wrong-footed, to confuse and surprise you.
Like, for instance, Bubba, let's say you could have what you wanted out of life, but every time you said the word Wednesday, a little imp ran up to you and stabbed you in the shin.
Or it could. I thought it was like, they take the memory of like Gillip or something.
It might not be the memory. That might have just been what happened to what was his name, Brian and Jameis, Kojan and. But honestly, do you know what? An episode goes past and I wipe it clean. I wipe it.
I mean, it's in the past. But for instance, for you, Bubba, the price could be the fact that you will never be able to play another instrument again.
Right.
You will completely lose your musical talent. And, of course, but you would be painfully aware of your lack of musical talent. And that's the rub, you see. The fellow, whatever his name was, I forgot him as well, he still remembered that he had lost someone very dear to him, but he couldn't quite remember, because that's the salt, that's the lemon in the wound, you see. You'll be painfully aware that you used to be a really great musician, but you cannot, for the life of you, do it anymore. And that is the case.
You're given, eternal life, but you are buried in the ground forever, so,
No, listen. Velda's let us know some interesting lore here. You see, everything wants a thing, alright? That's what I understand. Everything's got a motive. Mm-hmm. And demons, as you say, they feed on sin, do they? So they would need to perpetuate a system in which people continue to sin. Now, with them two, with their alchemical lab, what they did, even though they couldn't remember who they were trying to save, they made these oozes that went on and indirectly hurt other people, and in doing so they stole and did whatever and stuff like that, therefore creating more sin in the world. I reckon if these demons are going to put anything in front of us, it'll be the path that is to create more sin and therefore give them more food.
Yes, sin and chaos. They strive for chaos. So, as you say, the blobs blobbing off, that's a good example, actually. Very astute, Caragor. But yes, that is more chaos within the world. It is people acting against their wishes. It is doing as much as they can to destabilize. So,
Let's go!
We've reached the Ross attention span limit. Just before we go, I just sort of if she's coming by at any point during breakfast or whatever like that, I'd just be like, morning, Felicia. Lovely to see you.
Morning.
Hello, Felicia.
Listen, not when I'm doing it. You can't do it when I'm doing it, alright? We've got rules about this. No, it's intimidating if you both do it at the same time.
Come on, get go.
I swear you two get creepier every day.
Listen, I
loathe breakfast.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for letting us stay here, and we really appreciate it. And I know it's a custom and things like that, but it's also a custom for some people to give gifts. And I've actually, Caragor pulls out a jawbone of the snake that he slew in the thing. Goes, oh no, wait, and then pulls out a bottle of wine instead. All right, there we go. Here you go. I got this bottle of wine, and you're a nice host, so you can have that. Thank you very much for letting us stay. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. It's not the one from the from Master the Living God, is it? Still got snake brains down the side of it.
I have on my sheet got. I know. Do you know what, Dan? I must have foreseen this question because I've written down on my sheet. I've got bottle of wine, and then underneath that I've got snake wine bottle, which I've written the stats and damage next to. So I've got two separate ones. I'm giving the bottle of wine.
You give her the bottle of wine. It's a really good bottle of wine. I do remember that. Yes, it was from the stores in the Temple of Razmir, and they were very good bottles. She says, thank you very much.
I go. I'm the last to leave, and
I'm the last to leave.
Yes, I put Beelzebub
I am the last to leave.
as he's trying to talk to my mum, and I am like, go.
Oh, see you later. You smell nice. Bye.
Bye-bye, mother.
Goodbye, Junior. He smiles. He turns to walk out the front door, stops, turns back around, and just gives her a really, really big hug.
I love you. I love you too, Junior. Be careful out there, whatever you're doing.
Yes. And then he walks off.
Okay, and he walks off and joins the others. Karagor and Shania, with this story arc, have racked up plenty of sin for this. Like, you guys are going to walk in, they'll be like, "Oh, you guys are in credit. Take anything you want." Yeah, right. Oh dear. Right. So you make your way through the streets to where you're taken. So you head to the Banshadar. The Banshadar was the palace of Nex. So it is a huge, sprawling palace with lots of hovering towers that just float off the ground. And some of them are connected by bridges. Some of them are only accessible with magic that sort of flow around these great onion domes and minarets floating around. And there are quite big houses and large shops around it. Directly opposite the entrance to it, there are a row of high-end shops, and sure enough, in between a shop selling lots of ornate pieces of pottery and a shop selling exotic animals, there is an enormous stone building, almost like a castle. It has no windows. It stretches up about 3 stories high, made of grey stone. There is carved into the front of it, there is a huge symbol, it must be about 20 feet high, this symbol of a kind of a serpentine skull with mandibles coming down the side and spikes coming off the top of it. It's like a runic kind of symbol. I'm going to put this up on the social media when it comes out because it is super metal. It's the sort of thing I would have worn on a necklace when I was in my new metal phase. It's that kind of vibe right here. There's probably a douchebag with a tattoo of this. Not a douche, I shouldn't say that. Probably an actual fan of this game with a tattoo of this, but this style of thing. It's very...
Good save. Good
save there.
This one's for the douchebag.
Aww. I was going to it's so cool. I was getting it for Drum's birthday.
There is a doorway, but it has no door in it. It simply has a sort of a flap of canvas stretched across it. And it is standing there as clear as anything in between 2 other shops in a very busy part of the town. It's a busy street. People are coming and going. No one seems to be paying it any mind.
Can I do something? Fulton just stops near passerby and just goes, "Excuse me, what's that?" and points at the building.
He looks at you very strange. Says, "It's a pottery shop, for goodness sake. Can you not see for yourself?" And just shakes your hand.
What, the big, the skull and everything?
He stops and kind of stares up at it for a moment, as if, and squints a little bit, as if trying to sort of make something out, and says, "I don't have time for this. Buy your own pots if you want them." And walks away.
Bye.
Nex is obsessed with pots. Like, Jesus, this is like the lifeblood of this city is pots and magic.
We didn't buy any caterpillars.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure that would have helped.
Yeah, I've been talked around from it.
No one else can see it.
It was a good idea. I just don't think it would have worked. That's all.
All right, fellas. See you on the other side. I run towards the flat.
Fulton just picks up a run and runs straight at the door. He bursts through the flap and disappears into the building.
Bubba casually walks.
Yes, I suppose. See you on the inside. Velda, sort of great trepidation, walks forward, and before he gets to the door, he picks up Jin and holds him in his arm, and then goes in.
Yeah, it was nice knowing you all. Here we go. She takes Philippe by the hand and they stroll in.
Okay.
Karagor just gets a dirty bit of leftover bit of papyrus and a bit of charcoal. Before he goes in, he looks ominously up at the door. He looks back down at the paper and goes, "If all else fails, don't forget. You yeeted Min-Max into a river." Folds it up and puts it in his pocket and goes, "I'm gonna kick my own door in at this rate," and walks forward.
Beelzebub sort of stands there, looking at the flap, and then looks back at the market, looks down at the floor, looks at Jam Jam.
Father, I know that I don't physically have this, but I can't help but feel I have the willies.
Yeah, that is your willy.
Oh, I can feel it moving around inside of me, Father. I have butterflies.
And then he steps in.